This is a Netflix series of what has transpired. And unfortunately, I feel like there's still more.
Local families finding themselves at the center of what they describe a real-life Hollywood blockbuster filled with twists and turns. The controversy surrounds the Center for Reproductive Health.
Well, the Fertility Clinic has been put under court supervision, and now the clinic's protocols in record keeping under scrutiny, and a third party that's taken over says it cannot confidently match hundreds of patients with their genetic material.
Jet setting around the country most weeks on business while working her way to the top in the finance industry, Mindy Gayer has an impressive resume that goes hand in hand with being practically married to her career. It all led to some recent soul searching.
About a year and a half ago, I woke up one day and essentially had a small midlife crisis where I was like, I'm turning 39 this year. And I want children still. And so at that point, I was like, my option, because I don't have a partner, was I need to freeze my eggs.
A Google search led Mindy to the Center for Reproductive Health. And last year, she completed a medicated cycle and subsequent egg retrieval as a way to try and preserve her fertility. The following year, she got word that her genetic material frozen in storage at the clinic was in jeopardy.
I was actually in Cabo officiating a friend's wedding, and I'd woke up at like 6 o'clock the next morning to an email, and I think it was from maybe like the state of Tennessee, or I can't remember who the email was from, but it was the court restraining order.
After receiving mounting complaints about the Center for Reproductive Health, Dr. Jaime Vasquez, and Ferrer Dyer, the Attorney General's office filed an emergency restraining order citing consumer protection violations. From there, allegations snowballed. Patients filed police reports citing Dr. Vasquez's mismanagement and accused Dr. Ferrer Dyer of operating without a license. Some even stated Dr. Dyer should be charged with sexual assault for performing intimate procedures while unqualified. A court-appointed third-party receiver stepped in to try and sort out a business in documented disarray.
What we're really trying to shepherd is a good outcome for a variety of people who are stuck in a bad situation created by mismanagement of a doctor who, by all accounts, really didn't understand what was taking place and drove it off the cliff, and essentially then left people without anything.
The clinic is accused of abruptly shutting down without giving patients any notice. Many were left unsupervised while actively undergoing fertility treatments. Others couldn't track down their genetic material or even be assured that the cryopreservation tanks were being properly cared for. It's been a problem since the court-appointed receiver took over last spring, inheriting hundreds of unanswered emails and voicemails from frantic patients.
Our hands have been tied because we don't have confidence that the record keeping makes sense as it relates to how the genetic material is stored. So let me be clear. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are owed money here.
I probably spent close to $20,000.
Other patients took out loans, pulled from their retirement, and blew through their life savings, all in the hopes of growing their family. Mindy is not only out of all that money, but feels robbed of a much greater currency, time.
So it's like this big, this big question mark of, I have literally no idea. And it's painful for me because I can't go back in time and get those quality of eggs. I'm going to be 40 this year.
What do you think next step will be for you?
There's a group of us that are banding together to fight for justice. I would like to see license revoked from Dr. Vasquez. The gentleman that was posing as a doctor, I would like to see him in jail.
In September, the district attorney's office released a letter stating the facts of the case do not meet the legal requirements necessary to pursue a criminal prosecution for rape by fraud under Tennessee law. Going on to say, our decision not to prosecute should not be interpreted as a dismissal of the suffering endured by patients involved. Instead, it reflects the specific legal standards we must adhere to when considering charges of this nature. But a criminal investigation failed to produce charges. Patients are still determined to get their day in court.